Adipurusham Tamaham Vajami Angani Asa Sakale Priya Vriti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Vajami 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 Govindam
For the pleasure of the Lordship, Shri Gaunitaya, Shri Radhavallabh, Shri Jagannath Balita Subhadra, Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. Daily score report for Wednesday, 6th of April. Books distributed. Sorry. Daily score report for Thursday, 7th of April. Books distributed. Crosswest team, 1 small for 0.25 book points. Matsya Mataji, 3 small and 1 Mahabig for 2.75 book points. Jade Prabhu, 2 small, 3 big, 9 Mahabig for 21.5 book points. And Mahalakshmi Mataji, 1 Mahabig and 1 Śrīmad Bhāgavatam set for 74 book points. That gives the daily total of 6 small, 3 big, 11 Mahabig and 1 Śrīmad Bhāgavatam set for 98.5 book points. Preaching score, Radha Chaibar, 117 guests for 1,411 Lakshmi points. Gopal's 145 guests for 1,745 Lakshmi points. And Crosswest 276 guests for 2,424 Lakshmi points. That gives the daily total of 538 guests for 5,580 Lakshmi points and running weekly total of 2,468 guests for 25,521 Lakshmi points. Lakshmi liberated, Crosswest team 5 Lakshmi points. Matsya Mataji 14 Lakshmi points. Jade Prabhu 165 Lakshmi points. Mahalakshmi Mataji 301 Lakshmi points. And member services 8,680 Lakshmi points. That gives the daily total of 9,165 and running weekly total of 49,954 Lakshmi points. Sankirtan Yagna ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bando mui savadhana mate. Bando mui savadhana mate. Jahara prasade bhaye bhavatoriya jai. Jahara prasade bhaye bhavatoriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jahan hoy te. Krishna prapti hoy jahan hoy te. Guru mukha padma vakya chite te koriya kya. Guru mukha padma vakya chite te koriya ai kya. Arana kori ho mane asha. Arana kori ho mane आशा श्री गुरु चरणे राति ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा दान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षु दान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जते वेदे गाय जहाँ राचरितो वेदे गाय जहाँ राचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अदम जनारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अदम जनारा बंधु लोकेनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकेनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया श्रीला प्रभुपाद करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया श्रीला प्रभुपाद करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया ए बेजास गुशुक्री भुवाना ए बेजास गुशुक्री भुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना श्रीला प्रभुपाद लोइलो शरण श्रीला प्रभुपाद लोइलो शरण जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की नमो विष्णुपदाय Krishna prasthaya bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami niti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Caitanya Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana. Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सड़ो श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंडगिरी गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई जमुना माई की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की कलयुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटी All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's recording. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janvalabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janvalabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yashodanandan Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tire Vanachari Yamuna Tire Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tire Vanachari Yamuna Tire Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannathai, Jagannathai, Baladevai, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupad Paramamsa Parijacharya Ashtota Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Anant Koti Vaishnavrind ki all glorious to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glorious to assembled devotees, all glorious to assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glorious Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nasta Praishva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5, Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha, verse 26. Tad upasparshanad eva Vinirdutah malasaya Japanto Brahma Paramaham Tepastatra Mahatapaha Tad upasprashanad eva Vinirduta malasaya Japanto Brahma Paramaham Tepastatra Mahatapaha Tat upasparshanad eva Vinirduta malasaya Japanto Brahma Paramaham Tepastatra Mahatapaha. Tadupasparshanadeva Vinirduta malasaya Japanto Brahma Paramaham Tepastatra Mahatapaha. Tad upasparshanadeva Vinirduta malasaya Japanto Brahma Paramaham Tepastatra Mahatapaha. Tad upasparshana deva vinirduta malashaya japanto brahma paramaham tepastatra mahatapaha tad upasparshana deva vinirduta malashaya japanto brahma paramam tepastatra mahatapaha. Matajis. Tadupasparshanha deva vinirduta malasaya Tad upasparshanha deva vinirduta malasaya japanto brahma paramam tepastatra mahatapaha tad upasparshanha deva vinirduta malasaya japanto brahma paramaham tepastatra mahatapaha tadupasparshanha deva vinirduta malashaya japanto brahma paramam tepastatra mahatapaha. Word for word meaning. Tat, of that holy place. Upasparshanat, by bathing regularly in the water. Eva, indeed. Vinir dhutaha, completely purified. Mala asahaya, of all the dirt within the heart. Japantaha, chanting or murmuring. Brahma, mantras beginning with Om, such as Om Tad Vishnu Paramam, Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha. Paramam, the ultimate goal. Tepaha, performed. Tatra, there. Mahat, great. Tapaha, penances. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. At Narayan Saras, the second group of sons performed penances in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch all the dirty material desires in their hearts were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkara and underwent a severe course of austerities. Please repeat. At Narayan Saras, the second group of sons performed penances in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch, all the dirty material desires in their hearts were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkara and underwent a severe course of austerities. Purport. Every Vedic mantra is called Brahma because each mantra is preceded by the Brahma Akshara. Om or Omkara. For example, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Pranav Sarva Vedeshu. In all the Vedic mantras, I am represented by Pranava or Omkara. Thus, chanting the Vedic mantras beginning with Omkara is directly chanting of Krishna's name. There is no difference whether one chants Omkara or addresses the Lord as Krishna. The meaning is the same. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that in this age one chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Although there is no difference between Hare Krishna and the Vedic mantras beginning with Omkara, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the leader of the spiritual movement for this age, has recommended that one chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Agnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaha Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishibhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, I'll read the verse again. At Narayan Saras, the second group of sons performed penances in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch, all the dirty material desires in their heart were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkara and underwent a severe course of austerities. So we hear, these are the second set of sons who have been performing austerities, and they are going into the waters of Narayan Saras, which is in the Gujarat part of India, western side of India. And it is a holy place. It is the holy place where Lord Narayan himself created this kund, Narayan Saras, Narayan Sarovar, also mentioned as Narayan Sarovar. So it's a beautiful place where the second set of sons. So we'll just go back into the history, what has been happening in this last chapter and this chapter. So in the beginning of this canto, we heard about pastime of Ajamil, where Ajamil is the glories of chanting is mentioned, where Ajamil is chanting in this last moment, chanting the holy names of Narayan, and then he's getting a second chance. Also mentioned in the book, a second chance. The pastime is mentioned. So after Sukadeva Goswami finishes the pastime of Ajamil, Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring to Sukadeva Goswami about the secondary creation. Tell more about the Visarga. And at that point, Sukadeva Goswami is beginning to explain how the universe was populated in the beginning of this Yuga cycle. At that point, Sukadeva Goswami is narrating the pastime of the Prachetas, how the Prachetas came back from their austerities and penances, and they saw like everything was covered by forest, and then they tried to burn off the forest, and then Brahma asked them not to do that. At that point, Marisha was given to Prachetas so that they can create the help in the progeny. And from the union of Prachetas and Marisha, Daksha was born. So this is the second birth of Daksha. We heard about Daksha in the beginning of 4th canto. So at that time, Daksha had committed an offense. We heard like it was a long past time, where Daksha commits offense to Lord Shiva and his head was cut off. And then he had to take birth after, he had to perform austerity and take birth again in the 6th Manvantara. So for 5 Manvantaras he had to perform austerity, and now he is appearing again as a Prajapati. So this time, Daksha is is performing austerity, and again he's pleasing Lord Vishnu. And when Lord Vishnu appears, he blesses Daksha to help him in populating the universe. Because we see Daksha performed all this austerity and penances, and he was able to see the Lord face to face. But because his desires were not pure, he was not completely pure, Lord allowed him to even populate the universe, to be in the material, to engage in the materialistic activities or fruitive activities, as Srila Prabhupada mentions. So he was given Akarshani, and Daksha produced, because this personality, Akarshani, was not an ordinary woman. She could produce thousands of children. So Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan blessed Daksha with a woman who could help in the desire of Daksha to produce thousands of children. So with the union of Akarshani, Daksha was able to have 10,000 sons, Haryasvas. And these 10,000 sons were sent to perform austerity in Narayan Saras, which was the first set of sons, which is mentioned here. So they were sent to Narayan Saras to perform austerity by Daksha. After performing austerities, when they were returning, Narad Muni saw them and thought, these are already great souls. They need not go through the cycle of birth and death or engage into the materialistic activities. So let me preach to them and see if they can be delivered. And so Narad Muni approached Haryasvas, the 10,000 sons of Daksha, and preached to them and narrates a beautiful allegorical story. And when Narad Muni preached to them, it is mentioned, Haryasvas was so purified that just by the natural intelligence, they could understand the allegorical story. And there was no need for any explanation to them. And they immediately renounced the material task which was given by Daksha of engaging into the household life. So they were able to give up, and they renounced the kingdom, and they renounced the order of the father, and they just left for the forest. So Daksha was not happy with that, and again when Brahma insisted Daksha to produce another set of children, so Daksha this time produced 1,000 children, and they were Savala. So what we are hearing about them in this section. Sorry? All sons, 1,000 sons. So Daksha produces 1,000 sons, and the same instruction is given that he gave to Haryasvas, 10,000 sons, to go and perform austerity at Narayan Saras. And we hear that the 1,000 sons are going to Narayan Saras and performing austerity. Just to give what is coming, again Narad Muni preaches to these 1,000 sons when they are purified, and they also renounce. Narad Muni this time does not have to preach too much. He just says, just follow what your seniors have done, what your elder brothers have done, and you can just become liberated. Why engage in the materialistic activity? Just follow the seniors. Yade acharati shreshtas. So the 1,000 sons also renounced their duty, and then they become liberated. At that point, again, Daksha is not happy, curses Narad Muni, and the whole pastime unfolds later on. So what we are hearing here is an interesting part where Daksha, as Prabhuji had mentioned yesterday in a class, there is a duty. Everyone is bound by the duty in the Vedic system. Even though Daksha knew that when he sent the first 10,000 sons, the sons just went away. He did not ask the next set of sons to just engage in producing children or engage into the family life. But he asked, you go and perform austerity. So there was certain kind of a responsibility, as Lord Rishabdev mentions in the 5th canto. Guru nasa sayat, swajano nasa sayat, pita nasa sayat, janni nasa sayat, devam na tatsyan, na patistyasasyan, na mochet samupete mrityum. So Lord Rishabdev is mentioning that one should not become a guru, a relative, a father or a mother, a demigod or a husband, if one cannot deliver his dependent from the cycle of birth and death. So these are the positions of responsibility. If one is becoming a guru or a father or a husband or a demigod, these are the responsible positions. One has to fulfill the need of those positions. So here Daksha shows an example, like even though the first set of sons went, but still he is dutifully sending the second sons to perform austerity so that they can produce good progeny in the material world. And this is required because Srila Prabhupada many times in his purports is emphasizing the need for Garbhadan Samskara. Because whenever you are when you get married, in the Vedic system it was like the first 25 years is a brahmacharya ashram. People used to go through the brahmacharya ashram, and then if they want, they can engage into they can join the grahastha ashram. But that training of first 25 years is given where one has performed austerity, where one has performed shastric study, so they have got the right set of mind before they engage into the grahastha ashram. So when the progeny, when they engage in producing children, the children are automatically Krishna conscious. So they are having the right state of mind. But we see in this in Kali Yuga especially, we see that the brahmacharya ashram has completely disappeared. We don't see many people sending their kids to the Gurukul, or to that kind of training is given to the kids. So it is very important that one goes through this kind of training, at least in the Grahastha ashram. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized the need for Garbhadam Samskara, where one performs where one chants certain number of rounds and performs some kind of austerity before they produce children, and then the children who are produced are Krishna conscious, at least if not Krishna, at least they are pious. So that is what we see here in this pastime. Daksha is sending his 1,000 sons to perform austerity. So another point that Srila Prabhupada is making in the purport is, there is a need for purification in whatever we do. So what is it that we enjoy the most? So let me start with this question. If there is, we have got a system of 5 days of working and then 2 days of weekends. So in the weekend, what do we do? What do we like to do the most? So if you have been given 2 days of break from the normal routine, what do we like to do? Yeah, Abhay? You'd like to? Just sit down and do nothing. So yeah, so after 5, and this is what most of the people at office, they plan to do. So after 5 days of work, and many times Friday is the day of discussing what's on the weekend. And some people have got that kind of a idea. I'm just going to sleep, or I'm just going to do nothing. So what else would we like to do if we have been given a break for 2 days? Play, right? So we like to play. We like to do something different which we don't do in the normal weekday. So I was reading Chant and Be Happy. And in this introduction, Srila Prabhupada, there is a nice introduction where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that initially everyone is trying to satisfy their senses. So that is there are 5 kind of koshas. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also, it is mentioned. 5 level of koshas. Koshas means bodies. We have got different coverings on us. So the topmost covering is known as the Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means it's the, eating and sleeping. So that is like the gross material desires. So when a child is born, what does he want? What does he ask for when the child is born? That's right, just food. He's not worried about what day or what time of the day it is. All he needs is food. As soon as his stomach is full and his clothes are clean, he will go to sleep. As soon as he is hungry or his clothes are wet, he'll start crying. regardless of what daytime, whether mother, father are sleeping or everyone else is sleeping, doesn't matter. That is the only need for him. So that is known as Annamaya Kosha, where he is just concerned about eating food. So that is the basic level of understanding. And then above Annamaya Kosha is Pranamaya Kosha. It is interesting, even in Bhagavad Gita, this is Ashtanga Yoga process is given. So the Ashtanga Yoga has got 8 steps. Yam, Niyam, Pranayam, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So this first 3, Yam, Niyam, Asana, what does Yam mean? Yam, Niyam means rules and regulations. Asana means postures. So this first 3 deal with the Annamaya Kosha. So they are just dealing with the bodily platform. How you can perform your, you follow all the rules, regulations. You sit properly so that you can have a better life. So exercise and all those things are given in Yam, Niyam, Asana. And then there is Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is the breathing, airflow within your body. Bhagavatam 3rd canto explains about there are 10 kinds of air which are going through within our body. So the basic is prana. Prana means what we breathe in, inhale. Then apana. Apana is what comes out of the rectum. And then there is a air of digestion, air within the throat, mouth, within the body which circulates. So there are 10 different types of air which are going on in the body. So that is the science is known as pranayam. In Ashtanga Yoga we hear that. So that is Pranamaya Kosha. When you understand how your breathing and all your activities of the air are flowing through the body, you come to that level, Pranamaya Kosha. Then higher than Pranamaya Kosha is Gnanamaya Kosha. So Gnanamaya Kosha is where you understand your bodily needs, you understand your breathing processes, and then you understand about who you actually are. This is more to do with knowledge part of yourself. So this is again Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, and then you are coming to Pratyahara, where you are restricting, you are having the knowledge of what is right and wrong, so you are restricting yourself from doing something which is abominable. What should be done and what should not be done. So those kind of restrictions of the sense gratificatory activities comes from the Gnanamaya Kosha. And then higher than that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, where your intelligence is more developed. And when your intelligence is more developed, what happens? You know not only what should be done, what should not be done, but again you are engaging yourself. So Annamaya, Pranamaya are more on the bodily platform, which is more on the gross level. Jnanamaya is more on the mind platform. And then Vijnanamaya is more on the intelligence platform. So where your intelligence is purified by the process of studying the Shastra, associating with the devotees, following the process of chanting, which is mentioned here. So by chanting, you develop pure intelligence, natural intelligence. By austerity penances you perform, you develop natural intelligence. So that Vijnanamaya is developed. And then you come to Anandamaya. Anandamaya is the natural platform where you perform transcendental devotional service. So like this, there are 5 stages, again, in coming to comparison with Ashtanga Yoga. So Vijnanamaya is more of dharana and dhyan, and Anandamaya is more of samadhi, where you actually feel the bliss. So these are the 5 levels of koshas, how you can develop. And Vijnan or Anandamaya is on the transcendental platform, which we are mentioning here. Srila Prabhupada's famous audio recording, all of you must have heard. Srila Prabhupada mentions the transcendental vibration established by the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna and Rama. They are the sublime method for reviving our transcendental consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada, this whole lecture nicely mentions about the importance of chanting Hare Krishna and how these 3 words, Hare, Krishna and Rama, are not ordinary words. They are the transcendental. And these words are directly coming from the spiritual world. So, further I'll read Srila Prabhupada's words. As living spiritual souls, we are all originally Krishna conscious entities. But due to our association with matter from time immemorial, our consciousness is now adulterated with the material atmosphere. It's so interesting. Srila Prabhupada uses, when you hear Srila Prabhupada, he uses the words. Sometimes he even invents. Once Prabhupada was asked, there is no word like fruitive in the dictionary. And Srila Prabhupada said, this is my donation to the English dictionary. So he uses the specific words which gives us the meaning, which makes us understand what does it mean immediately by hearing that word, fruitive. So we can understand which make the activities which have got material desires, fruitive mentality. So it is also mentioned that Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he had memorized the entire dictionary by heart. And when he used to write his books, even the Britishers who used to read those books used to sit with a dictionary to understand what Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur has written. Because he used to use so specific words for describing Krishna and devotional service that it was not possible for an ordinary, even Britishers whose first language is English, they couldn't understand those words. So this is the quality of a devotee. And this is how Srila Prabhupada has preached to the Western world and given us this. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, as living spiritual souls, we are all originally Krishna conscious entities. But due to our association with matter from time immemorial, our consciousness is now adulterated in the material atmosphere. The material atmosphere in which we are living now is called Maya or illusion. Maya means that which is not. And we are trying to exploit the resources of material nature, but actually we are becoming more and more entangled in her complexities. Therefore, although we engaged in a hard struggle to conquer nature, we are ever more dependent on her. This illusory struggle against material nature can be stopped at once by revival of our eternal Krishna consciousness. And now Srila Prabhupada explains how we can revive our eternal Krishna consciousness. Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is a transcendental process for reviving this original pure consciousness. By chanting this transcendental vibration, we can cleanse away all misgivings within our heart. So Srila Prabhupada is simplifying the process of devotional service to just chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And exactly what it is mentioned in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has given to this verse, that just by chanting, one can purify his misgivings in the heart. Further, Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It took me a couple of times to read these to perfectly understand what Srila Prabhupada is. Not perfectly, but just understand what Srila Prabhupada was trying to mention. Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. So what does that mean? Artificial imposition on the mind. Yes, Prabhupada. Sorry? No negative impact on the mind. Yes, Prabhupada. Natural condition of the jiva. There is no adulteration. Thank you, Prabhupada. So there is no adulteration, as Prabhupada has explained before, that because of our associating with the material atmosphere, our consciousness is adulterated. Whereas this saying, Krishna consciousness or chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is not a natural, it's not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is natural. This consciousness is original, natural energy of the living entity. When we hear this transcendental vibration, this consciousness is revived. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra revives our original state, reveals us our original state or original nature that we are. Because right now, our consciousness is adulterated, so polluted. So how does that happen? Further, Srila Prabhupada writes, this simplest method of meditation is recommended for this age. By practical experience also, one can perceive that by chanting this Mahamantra or the great chanting of for deliverance, one can at once feel transcendental ecstasy coming through from the spiritual stratum. So these words are not coming creation of the material modes, or it's not material. They're directly coming from spiritual world. It is given directly by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was always there, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us this Mahamantra. It is, he infused his energies into it. So the energy of the Lord is infused into it, and which makes it transcendental. And when we chant this mantra, Mahamantra, it automatically reveals our natural Swarupa. So this is the process. This is one of the easiest process that we can perform in Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada again further writes, these three words, namely Hare, Krishna and Rama, are the transcendental seeds of the Mahamantra. The chanting is the spiritual call for the Lord and his energies to give protection to the conditioned soul. And so the Mahamantra consists of three words, Hare, Rama and Krishna. So Prabhupada is mentioning Hara or Hare is the energy of the Lord. And Rama and Krishna and Rama are the names of the Lord, pleasure potency of the Lord. So this chanting is exactly like the genuine cry of a child for its mother. Mother Hara helps the devotee achieve the Supreme Father's grace, and the Lord's reveal himself to the devotee who chants the mantra sincerely. And so just by chanting Mahamantra sincerely, the Hara or the energy of the Lord reveals us or allows us to have access to our Supreme Father, Krishna. No other means of spiritual realization is as effective in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy as the chanting of the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada in this lecture nicely just summarizes that there is no other process, or in this purport also Srila Prabhupada is just pointing it down, pinning it down to this conclusion that chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only way one can get out of this clutches of Maya or out of this material world. I was reading again in the same book, Chant and Be Happy. There was a discussion given between George Harrison and Yoko Ono and John Lennon. And Yoko Ono mentions this point. If Hare Krishna is such a strong, powerful mantra, is there any reason to chant anything else? For instance, you talked about songs and different mantras. Is there any point in chanting another song or mantra? So this was the question asked by Yoko Ono. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that there are many other mantras. I'll just say the summary of what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. So Srila Prabhupada is saying there are many other mantras, and chanting of the mantra is nothing new. Narad Muni has been going around the world chanting mantras. And there is nothing wrong with chanting the other mantras. But for deliverance, one has to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on a regular basis, the set number of rounds. It is important that one has to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anything else, of course, as it is mentioned, Omkara and all the other Pranav mantras are nothing but Krishna's name. But this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is directly given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada is writing, it has got the potency of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is why this is the Yuga mantra, and we have to chant this mantra. All the other mantras will support this mantra in enhancing our mood, but this mantra is the must. And then John Lennon asked another question related to chanting. If all mantras are just the names of God, then whether it's a secret mantra or an open mantra, it's all the name of God. So it doesn't really make a difference, does it? Which one do you sing? And then Srila Prabhupada again makes, it does make a difference. Srila Prabhupada immediately starts with, it does make a difference. For instance, in a drug shop, they sell all types of medicine for curing a particular type of disease. But still, you have to get the doctor's prescription in order to get a particular type of medicine. Otherwise, the druggist won't supply you. You might go to the drug shop and say, I'm diseased, please give me this medicine you have. But the druggist will ask you, where is the prescription? So Srila Prabhupada is giving a very nice example, saying that there are many mantras, you can chant any of the mantras, but where is the prescription? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this prescription that this is the only mantra which needs to be chanted for this age of Kali. So that is why, that is our prescription. And then Srila Prabhupada further mentions in the same section, saying that the mantra has to be given in parampara. Evam, and he quotes this verse, Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya vidu. Sakalena mahata yoga nasta parantapa. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, if the mantra or the instruction is not coming in the parampara, it is lost, it is destroyed over a period of time. And so it has to be handed down over parampara. And he quotes another verse in there. He said, Sampradaya vihina ye mantraste nishphala mataha. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining that if the mantra is not coming down through disciplic succession, then it is nishphala, even though you are chanting the same mantra. If it is not given to you in the disciplic succession, it is nishphal. It will not make any, it will be of no benefit to you. At that point, John Lennon asked, but it is the same mantra, how can it not have the potency? And Srila Prabhupada is saying, milk touched by the serpent becomes poisonous. So even if you drink the milk which is touched by the serpent, it is nutritious otherwise, but it will be poison if it is touched by the snake or a poisonous snake. So Srila Prabhupada is saying the same mantra, unless it has been given down, so is emphasizing the point that one has to be in the disciplic succession, coming in the parampara. Srila Prabhupada is giving that instruction. So, as it was mentioned, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the leader of the spiritual movement for this age, has recommended that one chant Hare Krishna mantra. So, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Let's try to understand few minutes. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Of course, we all know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a verse, say, Jai Gaur, say Krishna, say Jagannath. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Gaura Hari is non-different. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is non-different than Krishna, is non-different than Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. And so they are all one and same. But again, in the Adi Leela itself, it is mentioned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Srimati Radharani and Krishna himself. He's not just Krishna, he's Krishna and Radha combined together. And what are the reasons for their appearance? So there are 3 external and 3 internal reasons given. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? So the internal reasons are, external reasons are just to inaugurate, because he is a Yuga avatar, to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. So he appeared to inaugurate, establish the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and inaugurate the Sankirtan movement, which is a Yuga Dharma. And then he came to give Prema Bhakti. Just by chanting this mantra, also it is mentioned, unless we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and unless this particular time of the day of Brahma, which is in the middle, Lord Vishnu himself. Thank you. Who is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself, gave us, prayed to the Lord to appear, to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. So these are the 3 external reasons mentioned. And there are 3 internal reasons mentioned, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So the first reason mentioned is to understand the greatness of Radha's love for himself. So this is not possible. So in the spiritual world, Srimati Radharani and Krishna are the eternal consort. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and Srimati Radharani is the supreme enjoyed. So Krishna wanted to experience what does it feel to be Srimati Radharani, because even though Krishna is enjoying in the spiritual world unlimitedly, but it seems like Radharani is enjoying more than Krishna. So Krishna wanted to experience what it will be to. So Srimati Radharani it is mentioned, she comes before Krishna. So it's mentioned Radha Krishna. So Radharani is greater, and if we go to Vrindavan, everyone chants Radhe Radhe. Nobody chants Krishna Krishna. So Radharani's greatness is higher. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to, or Krishna wanted to experience that. How come Radharani is greater? So the devotee of my devotee is greater than me. So let me experience that. So to experience that greatness of Radharani's love for himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was the first reason. Second reason is to taste his own sweetness. By being Krishna, he cannot taste his own sweetness. So Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his pure devotee in the mood of Srimati Radharani, so that he can taste his own sweetness as a devotee, and to taste Srimati Radharani's happiness. So Srimati Radharani, who is the epitome of Ladini Shakti. So to taste that Ladini Shakti, what it feels like to be the most happiest person, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are the three external and internal reasons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And because he is Krishna himself, he gives this mantra which enables us to access prema bhakti, which is spiritual, and which is filled with transcendental potencies. Nam namakari bahuda nija sharva saktis tatrapita niyamita smarana nakala. So this mantra is filled. Nija sarva saktis, all the energies of the Lord are infused in this mantra. So when we chant this mantra, we straight away get access to the topmost rasa, which is the prema bhakti of the spiritual world. It's interesting. I'll finish with this. So how can we see the practical application of this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Because in theory it all sounds good, but how can we understand that this mantra is really potent? This mantra still it works. So, of course, in the first section of this canto, we heard about Ajamil pastime. But again, that all looks, of course, Ajamil is from a different age. Yamdutas appear, and so something which is of this age, how can we understand this mantra still works? And then we can see this from the life of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, when he was on Jaladuta, he was praying. In his poem, he wrote that, I'll just read that. Absorbed in material life, these Americans think themselves very happy and satisfied. And therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva, Krishna. But I know that your causeless mercy can make everything possible. Because you are the most expert mystic, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? Oh Lord, I am simply praying to you, praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. I am seeking your benedictions. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. But I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is writing. That, of course, out of humility, he is writing that he has no devotion or he has no knowledge about Krishna. But he's saying, I have strong faith in the holy names of Krishna. So we can see Srila Prabhupada had this faith that all he brought to US was, it is mentioned in Lilamrita when we read, in 1922 when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj gave instruction in that discourse to Srila Prabhupada to go to West and preach. And when did Srila Prabhupada go to US? 1965. September 1965, he reached the harbor, Boston Harbor, right? So that point, Srila Prabhupada, it's mentioned the lifetime of preparation. After that, he reached US, and at that point he's writing, I've just got faith in the holy names of the Lord, and this is what it is mentioned, he brought something, $8 or something, equivalent rupees, to West. Imagine coming to Australia with $8 or equivalent, probably $200 or $300 probably. We wouldn't be able to survive a day. But for 7 months, Srila Prabhupada lived with different people in US. And then finally in 1966 is when Srila Prabhupada met Harvey Cohen, who offered him, there were few devotees who were coming on and off, and then Harvey Cohen offered him the place in the loft to stay on Manhattan Bowery. And then Srila Prabhupada started the 3 days classes, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, he started these classes. And all he used to do in the evenings was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he used to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for half an hour or so, and then about 5-10 minutes he used to give class. Because it is explained that in those days, the people who used to come, they were not so, they were drug addicts, artists, they were more like, the words used were Bomanians. So they did not know anything about Krishna, but they could understand, they could relate to the sound vibration. And it's interesting, it is mentioned, Harvey Cohen mentions in his narration that Srila Prabhupada used to chant a simple mantra, the 1, 2, 3 mantra, which we hear in the recordings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And that was a simple, it is mentioned, he used to break this 4 syllables mantra, and 1, 2, 3 he used to play on his kartals. So it was a simple mantra which he used to chant, nothing fancy, simple mantra for half an hour in that Bowery. And then a simple 4-note phrase, the first 4-note phrase of a major scale. Prabhupada led the kirtan with a small 3-inch diameter hand cymbals he had brought with him from India. And he would ring them 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So nothing fancy. But after a few months, more devotees started coming. And then that Srila Prabhupada's followers got him a better place in the 2nd Avenue location. And from there, it is mentioned that the entire, what is it called? Sorry? Journey or the explosion, sorry, it is my Hare Krishna explosion began. So it is mentioned from that storefront, Srila Prabhupada used to chant this mantra, have those 3-day classes, and go to Tompkins Square Park. And all he used to do there was chant for hours. That's all he used to do. So this is what Srila Prabhupada did. He did not speak high-end philosophy or try to convince them by different yogic postures or anything. No, this was a simple method, just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And devotees are saying that when Prabhupada's kirtans were lively and captivating, with numerous guests spontaneously raising their feet, hands, and clapping and dancing. So many caught on to the chanting of Hare Krishna. Many soon caught on that chanting Hare Krishna was an intense and effective form of meditation, a direct means of communicating with something greater than themselves, no matter what their conception of the Absolute. And so all that the devotees could understand was the chanting had some mystic power. And then Srila Prabhupada initiated the first disciples in September of 1966, at which time about dozen students vowed to chant minimum of 16 rounds a day on their beads. And Prabhupada's flock soon began to print and distribute invitations and leaflets such as this one. This is interesting, where the devotees then started sending out leaflets and flyers. And what was mentioned on those flyers. Practice the transcendental sound vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This chanting will cleanse the dust from the mirror of your mind. Another invitation, another invited American youth to stay high forever, no more coming down. Practice Krishna consciousness, expand your consciousness by practicing the transcendental sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is all they could understand, and this is the most important message they could understand. So the devotees those days could understand that this is not normal mantra. It is stay high forever. And finally it is written, the chanting of the Hare Krishna seemed to spread in almost magical way. And as time went on, the number of people attracted to it increased exponentially. Even in this unlikely New York setting, the mantra seemed to have its own life. Whether it was melody, the beat, the sound of the words, the look of the devotees, or Prabhupada's humility and serenity, nearly everyone who then came in touch with the chanting of Hare Krishna responded favorably. And another message mentioned was, Swami's, and this was the newspaper headline, Swami's flock chants in park to find ecstasy. So, and it is mentioned, Hare Krishna Mahamantra has replaced LSD and other drugs for many of Swami's followers. Save Earth Now, and in large type, just below that picture, the Mahamantra was printed. So for everything, the answer was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Consciousness expansion that's sweeter than acid, cheaper than pot, and non-bustable by fuzz. So another one mentioned, living visible, tangible proof that God is alive and well. Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, and the final message, there is no coming down from this. I can always do this anytime, anywhere. It is always with you. This was mentioned by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So finding it superior to the euphoria from any kind of drug, he said. There is no coming down anymore. So this was the proof that people who have no knowledge about Krishna, no knowledge about spirituality, just kind of basic, they were used to LSD and they were frustrated with all the things, wars and everything that was going on then. All Srila Prabhupada did was chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And they could relate to it, they could understand it, they could find that this was not something ordinary, this was something superior. So, yeah, I'll stop here. Are there any questions, comments, corrections, please? Yes. Sorry, what was that? Artificial chanting is not okay. So when you begin your chanting, it is artificial. Did I say artificial chanting is not okay? Imposition on the mind. Yeah, it's not artificial chanting. So when we are of course, when we are chanting initially, we are not fortunate like these devotees are to immediately understand the glories of holy name. Namna makari bahuda nija sarvasaktis tatrapita niyamita smaran na kala. Etadashitava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisham ye janu nanu raga. I don't have love for chanting the holy names of the Lord. So, yes, initially we are chanting in the mood of doing it as a regulatory practice. But the holy name is powerful. It will reveal to us. It will give us the taste. So eventually it will become natural. But yeah, initially we have to chant in an artificial mood. We are not on that platform where we can directly taste the nectar in the holy name. So yes. Did I answer the question? Oh, yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so initially it was Harvey Cohen and then Allen Ginsberg, and many devotees are mentioned. If you read Leela Amrita, there is George Harrison, and all of them were when they, Mukunda Goswami, and all of them were there. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop here. Granth Raj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
pritimanti pasyanti panti kayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sadhu jala vigrahasya govindam ani purusham amaham bhajami 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 govindam ani
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Caitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanshtam Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,